policy motivations for any of those groups align with ours.
Somebody may say there's a lot of people that showed up for Obama just because he was black.
So things got pretty fiery when PBD went toe-to-toe with David Pakman, a liberal commentator, in a debate that quickly turned into a showdown over Trump. So let me tell you, a lot of people think that David got absolutely schooled by PBD here. Okay, so the conversation kicked off with discussions about whether people voted for Obama just because he was black. PBD was skeptical when David said that he wasn't sure if that was the case. Now, PBD pushed back, saying that there's exit polling on these issues, and he'd heard Republicans even supported Obama because he talked like MLK.
I knew Republicans who were voting for Obama in the insurance industry just because, like, listen, man, first time. This guy talks like MLK.
His words, not ours. Yikes. So from there, the debate shifted to Trump voters, specifically those who support him no matter what, even if he doesn't deliver on his promises, like building the wall. PBD asked if David had ever voted for a Republican, and when David said no, PBD didn't let up, comparing David's voting habits to the diehard Trump supporters that he was criticizing.
If he doesn't build the wall, are you still going to vote for him? And he says, well, yeah, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat.
Same with you as well, though. There's no way you're voting for a Republican either. Would you vote for a Republican?
Sure, yeah.
Things really heated up when PBD challenged David on why he couldn't remember basic political facts off the top of his head. David insisted he wasn't a diehard Biden fan, just that Biden was the better choice than Trump. But PBD wasn't letting it slide, even asking for pictures of Biden's campaign rallies to make his point.
I feel like I'm being framed as this Biden lover who's going to defend everything Biden
I'm not
did.
doing that. You may be thinking I'm not doing that to you.
What I want to say about this is,
can you
the
pull
following.
up Biden's rallies when he was running for president? Go ahead.
So at this point in time, the debate was already heating up, and then PBD dropped his bomb.
Let's back up for a second.
Look how beautiful that is.
Well, that's
These are
because
COVID
it's
rallies.
COVID.
Oh, stop.
Patrick,
You got to be
can I
kidding
tell
me.
you
That-
something?
Pat, though.
This is really the...
You're
the height
telling
of
me
COVID.
you're
You
okay,
seem silly
So
when...
He even went as far as offering $1 million of his own money to try and fill up an arena for Biden. His point? That no one is actually inspired by the guy. David called the whole thing silly, but PBD wasn't backing down. He continued to provide an impassioned defense.
who would you vote here? Trump's the worst. I would never vote for him. People didn't want to vote for this guy because 99% of the media, everybody was sitting there bashing him nonstop. By the way, same thing's going to happen with DeSantis.
Yeah.
David, trying to keep his cool, pointed out that he didn't know the exact numbers, but suggested they could look it up. But PBD wasn't interested in numbers. He was focused on how uninspiring it is to win an election just because the other guy is so disliked.
So why did people vote for Biden? Many of them voted him because they just didn't want Trump. Yeah, I don't know the numbers on that. You should know those numbers.
What? I just don't know that offhand. I mean, we can look it up. Why do I need to memorize?
Can I make a quick point?
Then David tried to shift gears, saying this whole Biden hid narrative is actually embarrassing for Trump. David did say that Trump lost to a guy who hid in his basement, right? PBD jumped on that, calling Biden the greatest hide-and-seek champion of all time.
Who hid in his
actually not.
basement?
It's not.
That's the crazy
Dude,
thing.
your
I would
president,
stop
your
talking
guy,
about
Joe Biden, is the greatest hide-and-go-seek champion of all time. That's
Wait,
who
hold
he
on a
is.
sec. He's not your president?
He's my president.
Oh,
but
okay.
but
He's our president.
David tried to clarify, saying Biden's only better than Trump because he's being forced to defend him in this debate. But PBD wasn't letting up. He claimed even liberals aren't saying Biden's better than Trump when it comes to actually doing the job. He masterfully dismantled the debate here between Trump and Biden, but it's going to be a different case now that Kamala Harris is taking center stage. On September 10th, Kamala Harris will step onto the debate stage once again, but this time it's bigger than ever. She's the Democratic candidate for president, and she's going head-to-head with Trump. Now, this debate could be the most intense challenge of her campaign yet. Not to mention an extreme exercise in patience for both parties. Debates have been crucial in Harris's political journey, from her days running for California Attorney General to her rise to the vice presidency. If you take a look back at some of her key debates, it's clear that she knows how to pick her moments. She's got a talent for knowing when to step into the spotlight and when to let her opponent trip over their own words and fall. This skill is going to be essential against the always combative Trump. But her team will also be keen to show off any doubts about her messaging abilities, doubts that have lingered since her 2020 presidential run and some shaky interviews in recent years. In today's world, debates are often remembered for those viral moments. So Harris not only needs to land some memorable blows, but she also needs to avoid any mishaps. Back in 2010, when she was debating for California Attorney General, she demonstrated this perfectly. When asked about double dipping, where public officials collect both a salary and a pension, her opponent, Steve Cooley, confidently said that he'd take both. Harris stayed silent for a moment before quipping.
The very low, incredibly low salary that's paid to the state attorney general.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
Go for it, Steve.
When you get there, you'll want yours too.
That quick-witted moment became an ad, and she won the election by the slimmest of margins because of it. Then, during a 2016 Senate debate, her opponent wrapped up with a dab, a dance move that was all the rage back then. Harris, visibly taken aback, let the awkwardness hang in the air before calmly pointing out, "So there's a clear difference between the candidates in this race." Once again, voters sided with Harris. These examples show Harris's sharp instincts on the debate stage and her skillful use of silence. As Maya Rupert, a Democratic strategist, puts it, Harris knows how to wield silence as a powerful tool. As she prepares to face Trump, she'll be counting on those instincts more than ever. Meanwhile, things got heated recently at Arlington National Cemetery when two members of Donald Trump's campaign staff clashed with a cemetery official. NPR reports that the incident occurred during a wreath-laying ceremony in which the former president participated. According to sources familiar with the situation, the trouble started when the cemetery official tried to stop Trump's staffers from filming and taking photos in Section 60, an area where recent U.S. casualties are laid to rest. Arlington officials had made it clear that only cemetery staff were allowed to capture images in that sensitive area. But when the official tried to enforce the rules that prevent the campaign and keep them from Trump's photo op at the risk of revealing sensitive information and access to Section 60, things took a turn for the worse. The source said that the Trump staffers verbally lashed out and even pushed the official aside. Which, honestly, is just in poor taste regardless of which political party was attempting this little feat. The ceremony itself was to commemorate the third anniversary of a deadly attack on U.S. troops in Afghanistan during the chaotic withdrawal from the country that left 13 American service members dead. The Trump campaign has since pointed fingers at President Biden and Vice President Harris, now the Democratic presidential nominee, for the handling of that withdrawal. Regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, our soldiers and our veterans deserve more respect than what was shown there. You know, it's obvious that this race is only beginning to heat up and it's going to be a lot closer than we think. So, what are your thoughts on all of this? Make sure you let me know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next episode.